everybody. My name is Raven. Welcome back. I just can't imagine my life without some sort of fuzzy little pet. My pets are like part of the family. They're the closest thing I'll ever have to children. I like all sorts of animals, but of course, as you can probably tell, I have a preference for cats. Ever since I've moved out of my family's home and started living on my own, I've always had a cat. Or two. Or three. However, I have never paid for any of my cats in the sense that I've never gone to a pet store or the mall and paid money to a breeder or an actual store for my pets. The only money I've ever spent on my cats is the adoption fee. All of my cats are rescue cats, whether they are from the animal shelter or from just out in the wild. I have adopted feral cats quite a few times, stray cats that have just wandered around. I tend to prefer this method. Everyone wants to, of course, go and get the cute little kittens from the breeder or the pet shop or the person who decided not to fix their pets. We have a flea market around here who always sells puppies, purebred and designer dogs. Let's face it, designer dogs are just mutts. But these people sell these puppies, and there are always puppies there. To me, that says they have a crap load of dogs and breed them constantly. A puppy mill. So I tend to find that adopting a stray animal off the street or adopting an animal from the shelter tends to be more rewarding for me as a pet owner and also for the animals. You'd be amazed just how grateful these animals can be and what great companions they are. This is Britz. Her hobbies include drinking out of the bathroom faucet, sleeping, and riding the mood swings. Britz is a cat I did not expect to get. She was always picked on by the other strays that have wandered around here. One day, just out of nowhere, I was outside. She walked right up to me and she was sweet, so we brought her in. She's been in ever since. She had apparently lost a litter of kittens. She was very, very thin. She was very, very dehydrated and absolutely exhausted. She's a sweet. From the first 5 minutes we brought her in, she was grateful. She was grateful to have a place where she was dry, where she was cool, warm. She could eat without having to constantly defend herself or be paranoid. There was nobody here to pick on her. She got fresh water and didn't have to drink out of puddles. She had a safe place to sleep. She has planted herself on my bed, and that's pretty much where she stays most of the time. She has become a really sweet and grateful and moody companion. She almost always sits with me. She follows me everywhere like a little duckling. As an author, I always like having a little company when I work, when I write, when I edit, when I do beta reading. And she's always here. She sits and she judges me when I write. She sits and she listens when I read. This is Mirage. His hobbies include knocking over the trash can, eating toilet paper, and trying to blend in with the blankets and carpet because he's the same color. Mirage is a bit more of a typical case. I adopted him from the shelter. He was about 6 months old, I guess, and he went by the name of Inky. Now, the reason he was in the shelter was because his owner didn't want him. Why didn't his owner want him? Because he was black. Around here, it is amazing just how superstitious and stupid people are. Mirage is a black cat. Therefore, somehow automatically they believe he is the spawn of the devil. I am grateful that his owner gave him up to the shelter instead of doing what most people do around here. He didn't run off the road to hit it. He didn't shoot it. He didn't drown it. But he was given to the shelter, which is a good thing because I personally like black cats. I've always had a preference for black cats because other people just don't like them for no other reason than they're black cats. All my black cats have always been the best of companions. But I digress. We're talking about Mirage. Now, when I met Inky at the shelter, he didn't come over right away. But when I found him, I pulled him over, and he decided that he liked me. He laid back, he rolled over, and that's pretty much enough for me. He decided that he liked me, so that worked. Now, we brought him home, and there's something you have to understand about why I didn't keep the name Inky, besides it's just dumb to me, but why I gave him the name Mirage. I have a black rug. My bedding is black. The towels in my bathroom are black. Don't ask why, it just is. Most of my clothes are black. I just have a thing with black decor. And he learned very quickly that he could blend in with the carpet. He could blend in with the bedding. And if we weren't careful, we were going to step on him. We were going to lay on him. We were going to sit on him. He learned this pretty quick. And he was basically like a mirage. If you didn't look carefully, if you didn't see those little telling signs, you wouldn't know he was there. So rather than a typical name like Shadow or Midnight or Phantom, we called him Mirage. Now, of course, I did pay the shelter to adopt him. I paid for medical care, and we didn't have to pay for much else because we already had Britz, so he was just another companion in the house. He was very laid back. For a devil spawn of a cat, he sure was pretty laid back. He would lay back in my arms and watch me play Pokemon. I'd watch stuff on YouTube and he'd sit there and watch, and he still does. He likes to sit and watch me watch stuff on YouTube or Netflix. He goes up and watches my husband play video games. I think Mirage has a very big personality, and he is very grateful. I know he's grateful because we did have to take him to a vet, but we had to stop back at the animal shelter. And when he saw that animal shelter, he freaked out. He thought we were giving him back and was very, very happy when we brought him back home. So definitely, if you're thinking about getting a pet, think about rescuing. And it's not just shelters. Every time you say, rescue an animal, people automatically think, oh, well, just the shelter. It's more than just the shelter. Most of my cats came from just wandering outside. Most of them are stray or feral cats. I've had my share of training feral cats to become good house cats. It just takes a lot of patience and TLC, that tender love and care. You have to really want to care for these animals, and these animals normally can care back. You just have to learn to communicate with them. So definitely, if you're thinking about adopting, if you're thinking about getting a cat, adopt from the shelter. If you have the patience, try to bring a cat in from outside, especially if you live in an area where people are really stupid, superstitious, and cruel. Because trust me, the cat will appreciate not being shot at, not being drowned, and not having to avoid car tires by stupid rednecks who think that cats are the spawn of the devil. Adopted cats are great cats. Adopted pets are great pets. And you'll never convince me otherwise.